Hi, it's Vicky from the Sponsorship Consultants. We're up to video 4 of 7 of tips to help you get sponsored. So in the first video, we looked at a few things that you need to do before you even start to prepare a sponsorship proposal document. And we then looked at some of the tax implications around being a sponsored athlete, and we found that there aren't really any. And then we looked at, what did we look at? Finding out about the sponsors, before you actually approach a sponsor, getting to know a little bit about them and make sure they're the right fit for you. Something we're going to look at tonight, which is really, really important, is to know what you're getting sponsored for. So most of you know that you probably spend a fair bit on your sport, and in my experience, most athletes have no idea how much that is. And it's kind of a case of not really wanting to know, because it can be pretty scary. The average triathlete spends about, 35 grand a year on average. And that's just for the ones that compete within Australia. International athletes, you're looking at, 80, 90 grand every year. So let's just have a look at a really simple way of finding out the facts, because this is a business relationship that you're getting into with sponsors. And like any business, you need to know your numbers. And it's pretty simple, and it might be a little bit scary, but that's okay. We're doing it together, so don't be too scared. I use a process called mind mapping, and I do it in a really, really simple way. And the athletes that I work with really like this. Most athletes are kinesthetic learners. They're sort of quite tactile, and the way that we process this information is really complementary to the way that most athletes seem to think. So this is a mind map. Let's get that right. There we go. Okay. So in the middle, you can see that it says sponsorship, and then around that, there's a whole heap of different items that have been identified as needing sponsorship for those. So that was for a mountain biker. And it was everything from, bikes to shoes to coaching to travel to a bike rack, all sorts of things, everything, right down to things like sunscreen and, personal items, everything that you spend money on or would like to be able to have to fully participate in your sport. So this helps us ascertain that the physical items that we need and the services, so massage and physio and insurance and things like that, so that we're halfway there with knowing what we need from sponsorship. Then we need to take into account finance, and it might be that we obtain finance to cover some of those costs, or we obtain finance so that we can work part-time, or reduce our hours a little bit, or get rid of that part-time job on top of the full-time job. Sponsorship is about making your life as good as it can be and allow you to fully enjoy and participate in your sport. So think big. Don't think, I can't, it's too hard. Get rid of those thoughts. It's all about abundance. There is an abundance out there, so it's just a matter of connecting with it. And the more positive you think, sorry, we're getting touchy-feely again. The more positive you think, the more likely it will be to happen. And I know that's my experience. I've seen it, in every athlete that I've worked with. They've connected with, this sponsorship that they really weren't sure if they could connect with, but they stayed positive and they took action. The final thing that you really want to consider when, I guess, trying to put together in your mind and on paper what you want out of sponsorship is you'll need to think about network and audience. So are you looking to increase and improve your network and your audience? So most athletes are, because the more of an audience you've got, then the more of an audience you can offer to your sponsors, and the more you can ask from them in return. So I would certainly add that to your list of what you're looking for out of sponsorship. So that's the mechanical stuff. There's just one more thing. A lot of the athletes I work with are individual athletes, so runners and rowers and cyclists, and there's maybe not so much cyclists, but most of those are really individual sports. And what they get out of sponsorship is not just all of that commercial stuff and those financial rewards and benefits. it's a feeling of being a part of a team and having sponsors on board who believe in you. They like what you do, they like you, they like what you're about, and they want to be part of your journey, adds a whole other dimension to your sport and your I guess experience as an athlete. You get to share that journey with people that are genuinely interested, and that's priceless. So put that on your list if that's something that you want. If you're someone that goes out on 30-40 kilometer runs by yourself and you get lonely and unmotivated or unenthused, being sponsored might just shift that. So there you go. That's it from me. I don't know, I think we fitted that under 6 minutes, so we're doing well. Got a couple more videos to get out this week. Thank you to everyone who sent in ideas. Tomorrow's video is going to be about sponsorship proposals. It's something I hesitate to talk about too much because it's not, it's kind of the sum of everything that we do beforehand. But let's have a look at it. It can be pretty interesting, and we've got some good ideas to share. Have a great day or a great night wherever you are, and I'll speak to you soon.